Hello there. This is Becky DeGrosso with Counseling Wise, and I'm the owner of the Private Practice Builders Facebook group. Each week in the group, we ask the question, what's the most burning question you have about building your private practice? This week's question comes from Moses. 21 people upvoted this question to be the top one this week. And the question is, what is needed to make your private practice sustainable and successful over time? So that's the question I'm going to be diving into in this little video here. So there are many approaches to building a private practice. If you've been in this game for any amount of time, you've heard of all of these most likely. Some people recommend networking. Some people say go get on Psychology Today or other directories. Some people say use social media, and others say paid advertising. Okay, now for all of these, you really need a good website. Okay, so a website is kind of core to any of these marketing strategies. If you are even on Psychology Today and you send people to your website, you're going to convert much better. If you're using social media, you need to send people somewhere. The website, there it is, and you're going to need that anyway. If you are even just doing networking, your referral partner is going to want to send people somewhere so that they can check you out. So you need a good website. And certainly for paid advertising, you need to send that traffic to a website anyway. So your website is going to serve as the hub of your marketing no matter what you do. All right. So the best way that we've found to make this work is, what if you actually make your website that you have to have anyway do the work for you? All right. And that is the approach that we've been taking for the last 11 years, and pretty much perfected how to make this work really, really well. And so I'm going to cover with you what you need to have that work. Okay, first of all, you need to market specialties that are in demand. So if you are trying to market something that nobody is looking for, then you're going to have a really hard time building a practice, no matter what approach you use, okay? So market specialties that are in demand, and it's really easy to figure out what those are, all right? And then the way you market them is that you have strong, optimized specialty pages on your website, all right? So that means those pages are in depth. They go through the pain, the problem that the potential client is feeling. They normalize the situation. They give that potential client hope that therapy is going to help them. It even answers fears and objections they may have about calling you up and entering into therapy for this issue. And so these pages need to be compelling. They need to be strong. They need to be in depth. Little paragraph like somebody could find something in Wikipedia, that's not going to do. Okay, you need something that's a nice, strong page. And then once we write these pages, then we fuel their rise in Google to page one via blog posts. All right, and that's what we do. Now, once you rank in Google on page one, you pretty much stay there. That's the beauty of it, okay? You go up. We're talking about sustainability here with this question. So the beauty of this system is that once you get there, you stay there. And it gets even better over time. And this honestly is the most sustainable marketing approach that I have found in many years of doing this. I'm going to show you some examples here. This is a website page of a therapist who's in Boulder, and Boulder is one of the most competitive places on the planet in terms of therapists. This therapist with the strong specialty page started out somewhere around, page two, kind of hopping up and down, bottom of page one, page two, and gradually took a rise over here, maybe 6 months, started hitting the the position one on page one, and then just kind of stayed there, okay? There's always a couple of Google adjustments over time that would cause something like that to happen, but then popping right up the same day, and then just staying up there, okay? Just staying up there and doing really well. This is 4 years of stability, all right? So hopefully you can see that this is pretty stable and pretty sustainable. All right, we go to the next example. This is a therapist in New York City, arguably the most competitive place on the planet. New York City has the most therapists of anybody in the world. And in that city, what you do is you go after neighborhoods. So Marriage Counseling East Village, position number one. Okay, started out kind of bouncing around down here, gradually went up over time, just pretty solid up here. Okay, kind of hanging out, position 1, 2, 3. Okay, really solid. And that's 2.5 years in. So highly sustainable. And yet another example, this is a more recent example. This therapist has a practice in Atlanta, not a small place, not a non-competitive place. And for the term child counseling, she's in position 3. Again, starting out, Google kind of getting used to her, bouncing up and down. Who is this person? Is this site trustable? All that good stuff. Oh yeah, it is. Popped up there and has just been kind of hanging out there for a long time. Okay, and this is only like really what three months here. Okay, but that just shows you how it works. You end up earning your authority and then moving up and staying there. All right, so this is truly the most sustainable way I know to build a practice. This client is this therapist is just going to stay there and do well over time. This therapist here, before she did it this way, she had a website up and it wasn't really working. Okay, she had a website up for 8 years. It wasn't really working. Once she implemented this, life changed, and she's seeing 47 clients a week. And then this client here, this therapist started as a solo practitioner, new in practice, filled up her solo practice, and now has turned this practice into a group practice. All right. So this method is great. You can add new specialties. You can do this for every specialty you have. You can turn into a group practice and add more as new people come in and they have different specialties. Very modular and sustainable approach to do this. So thanks to Moses for the question about really tuning in on the sustainability of practice. That is something that most people don't think about enough. We really believe that you should put a set it and forget it system in place like this, and that's why we do it this way. I just want to say that it is a lot of work, right? It's not an easy thing to do. It's a piece of work to get it done. But once you get it done, then you can just not worry about it anymore, and you can just focus on doing therapy. So just like the folks I showed you, once you get your specialty pages up to page 1, you're going to get consistent, ongoing client calls, and you can, build a waiting list. Say you're not taking anyone anymore, turn it into a group practice, whatever you want to do. It just works and it's sustainable. All right. So Becky, over and out. I'll end here, and thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.